This is Greg Troutwine with Offshore Engineer TV, and we're very pleased to be at the Offshore Technology Conference in Houston, and we're here today with Chris Pfister, Vice President of Commercial with Lloyd's Register, to discuss Lloyd's Register in the offshore industry and the changing offshore industry. So, Chris, I know that everybody watching this probably knows the Lloyd's Register name, but to start us off, why don't you just give us a quick overview of the company, the organization, with your role in it?
Yeah, sure. No, I appreciate you having me here. So Lloyd's Register is a leading classification certification society. We've been in the U.S. for a long time, supporting the maritime industry as a whole, as well as the offshore industry. So fixed and floating assets. We service industry from design all the way through construction, commissioning, installation.
You know, I also have some maritime properties. I know LR really well on the maritime side. Can you dig a little bit deeper and let us know the exposure of the offering of LR to the offshore energy industry?
Yeah. Maritime and offshore are not one and the same, but they're very, very close. And they both support each other as their own individual industries to create a greater offshore marine industry. So Lloyd's has been involved with offshore projects for a long time, from the North Sea to Asia to Australia to the Gulf of Mexico. And we've delivered all kinds of projects, fixed and floating assets, from oil and gas to subsea production systems to offshore wind.
You know, we talk about energy transition relentlessly through our pages, daily, online, everywhere. But you actually said something interesting earlier. Instead of energy transition, you're talking about energy integration, because the reality is we're still very much an oil and gas dependent world. So when you look at the transition that's going on now and LR's place in it, what do you see?
Oil and gas is very much needed, as you mentioned. We still require that for the energy. We still require that to do what we do in the world, but it's rapidly changing. And so I like the term integration, because it's not going to be a simple transition. I think eventually we will get to where we want to be, we will get to where the regulations want to be and where society wants to be. But until then, we've got to develop plans to integrate new renewable energies, new energy sources. How do we decrease our carbon footprint through different energy savings devices, through electrification? But to get there, we need to recognize that it's going to be more of an integration. Transition will come next.
You know, we talk also a lot about decarbonization, and I know that's a very big word and a very big concept for a lot of companies. So when you talk to your clients today and you have a decarbonization discussion or an emissions reduction discussion, how do those discussions look and what are you recommending?
So the beauty about Lloyd's is that we're open to any idea. Every company has their favorites. Every company kind of has a vision of where they think they should be going. But it's about finding what works well for their footprints, for their operations, for their investors. So there's a lot of talk about different ESG strategies and policies. And we're going to help you look at that and figure out whether it's on the consulting side, and we can look at the economics and say, hey, this is what you get if you do this. This is how much reduction here and with the investment here, all the way up to having technologies approved, to having energy savings devices approved, and how we can integrate that into their offshore assets.